Hello, my name is Chris Brennage, and my presentation will explore the duties of partnership/public relations managers within the video game industry. The majority of the profiles of whom I researched for this presentation are people working within Seattle-based gaming organizations. These jobs can be broken up into three organizational categories. First, we have the platform holders, which in this case is Microsoft with the Xbox and Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch and DS consoles. These organizations focus on creating and finding content to publish on their platform. Their ecosystems consist of a large variety of games, and their goal is to provide the highest quality and most variety of games to their platform. Second, we have streaming services. As games continue to grow, the idea of streaming games onto video platforms for viewing purposes has continued to grow exponentially. Luckily, the largest streaming service, Twitch, is owned by Amazon and has multiple studios in Washington. Microsoft also has its own streaming service for Xbox called Mixer. These streaming services seek to provide a breadth of entertainment to their audiences and focus on providing quality tools to their content creators. Finally, we have the publishers and developers located in Seattle, with the major players being Bungie with Destiny, 343 Studios with Halo, and Epic with Fortnite, along with many others. With the increased lifespan of these bigger games, developers not only focus on creating games. An emphasis has now been placed on supporting these games over a longer period of time. By supporting games with the addition of microtransactions, multiplayer, and additional content, developers and publishers are able to create steady streams of revenue that provide extra security for their organizations in the long run. Their priority is creating the best content for their audiences and continuing to iterate on these games by listening to community feedback. So what would a partnership/public relations manager look like working for Microsoft and Nintendo? Firstly, being a platform holder, finding quality content for your ecosystem would be the first priority. This can involve building strong relationships with publishers and developers and signing deals for exclusive content. Being able to understand what games are trending within the industry and acting first to make deals with the developers exploring these genres and ideas is extremely important. One great example of this would be Nintendo's recent success in adopting popular PC indie game titles to their portable platform. By understanding their competitive advantage of portability and aligning that with the growth of bite-sized innovative games coming to traditional consoles, Nintendo has been able to provide gaming fans with a new experience to play some of their favorite games on a portable system. Another area of expertise you would need to be versed in as a PR manager would be how to innovate on new ways to keep your audience engaged with your platform. This involves viewing your platform's ecosystem as a service and understanding how other companies are innovating within the service industry. A great example of this would be Microsoft's new Game Pass program they just recently rolled out. The program is essentially turning Microsoft's ecosystem into a Netflix-style service where gamers can pay a monthly fee and play an ever-changing list of titles instead of having to rent/buy individual titles on the platform. Finally, a public relations manager would have to effectively communicate new announcements, features, and games with their audiences. Just knowing the bullet points is not enough. Effective PR managers need to understand why announcements are important to their specific audiences, and knowing how to effectively communicate that information to coworkers, to the press, and directly to their audience is extremely important. This is where a passion and strong knowledge for the industry comes into play. It's always very obvious when you're talking to someone who's just regurgitating talking points compared to someone who's really passionate about their work. Much like the platform holders, working for a streaming service involves finding new ways to bring people into their ecosystem and making sure they stay within the platform. For streaming services, providing tools to foster community engagement is the first priority. Managers within streaming services need to provide their creators with the best tools that allow them to create engaging content for their audiences. This involves effectively communicating with top streamers in order to understand their needs. Better moderation tools, third-party software integration, and dependable monetization systems. Many top streamers make their living off Twitch and other streaming services like Mixer and YouTube. Therefore, making sure these streamers have their needs met is a top priority. And once again, like Microsoft and Nintendo, Twitch as a service means they also have to find ways to innovate and keep people within their ecosystem. The streaming platform has also begun to experiment with not only providing new tools, but also giving away free monthly games and in-game items for specific titles. By providing unique cosmetic items for popular titles like Rainbow Six Siege and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, or even just providing free older games like Gone Home, the platform has taken a cue from non-streaming services like the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, and is further incentivizing their premium members to stick with their service. These streaming services are also innovating on new ways to integrate their tools into the very games streamers are interested in playing. The new popular game Dead Cells has integrated Twitch into its own game mechanics and allows viewers to interact with the streamer by providing a list of commands that can alter the streamer's game by adding new enemies and unique traps. This type of innovation enhances the viewing experience and is something completely unique to streaming services like Twitch and YouTube. Once again, understanding how your service is unique within the greater context of the gaming industry provides your organization with a clear future roadmap for the service through other innovations. And finally, what would a PR/community manager look like for a game developer? Well, considering how diverse games have become over the last decade, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what the normal day-to-day would look like for a community manager. But given some recent trends in how games are being developed and published, there are some key insights we can take away. First off, games are becoming far more expensive to create. As the technological tools continue to increase the scale and scope of modern games, more people are working on them, and these games are taking longer to develop. With the increase of development costs, developers are looking to create games with larger lifespans. Whether that's integrating multiplayer through competition or cooperation, or continually adding additional single-player content through DLC, developers are looking to extend the lifespan of their games. Creating games and continuing to support these games long after their initial release date has been coined as the games as a service model. Even games are taking a cue from the service industry and are looking to turn their content into experiences that provide steady streams of revenue through microtransactions. Working as a community manager for a game existing as a service puts you at the forefront of importance for the future of the game. By interacting and understanding the audiences who play your game, you act as a spokesperson for the community and help foreshadow the future of the game. Modern community managers take feedback from the community and help shape the future development of the game. Their feedback alters the course of the game throughout its lifespan, and the community manager's skills in both understanding and interpreting the core game mechanics, along with the wants of the community, play an extremely powerful role in shaping the future success of the game. But of course, not every game is meant to act as a service, and understanding the scope of the game you're promoting will help manage the expectations of potential fans before the game's release. Oftentimes, games get overhyped by PR managers before the release and leave a long-lasting poor reception of the game and the team who developed it. These poor receptions stick with publishers and can affect future game sales. A skilled PR manager needs to view his game in the grander scale of the industry and needs to manage the expectations of fans accordingly. After studying a number of profiles with similar job titles consistent with the ones I've just overviewed, there were two key takeaways I found within the research. First off, a large number of profiles started off as community managers before moving up to larger titles. In this case, having experiences with a community of people outside of the gaming industry has the potential to translate into a community manager position within the field. Even finding ways to get involved with gaming communities by joining internet forums such as Reddit and Discord, and hosting events could be a viable strategy to build experience needed to break into the industry as a community manager. Bungie's newest community manager for the Destiny franchise, Chris Shannon, was the creator of the Destiny subreddit before the game was even released. Because developers are looking for the people most passionate about their games to help manage their communities, it makes sense to seek out the players most active within their sub-communities. Promoting these users to full-time positions within the organization seems to be a more common thread as games continue to become a service. The second thing I noticed while researching game-related jobs was that work experience that at first glance seemed unrelated to a full-time position within the industry was in fact more beneficial at a second glance. Coming into the industry having outside work-related experiences can provide teams with a new refreshing perspective for their games. Community developer Craig Robinson graduated with a bachelor's in kinesiology and exercise science while serving as a sergeant for the U.S. Marine Corps before he first joined Ubisoft as a customer support representative. His experience in the Army undoubtedly served as a fresh perspective for the developers creating the game simulating a similar experience to the ones he lived through himself. By searching for video game positions that would benefit from your specific outside experiences, your unique perspective could give you an advantage over other candidates who lack diversity in their resume. As tools continue to integrate and allow communities to shape the content they're interested in, the role of the community/PR manager continues to increase in importance. By finding ways to get involved within these communities, the people most passionate and capable are finding ways to turn their love for video games into a full-time position. With this presentation, my goal was to highlight these careers and show that with enough persistence and dedication, these careers can be viable for qualified candidates passionate about what they do.